"You don't even act like a man," my dad John said, pointing his fork at me. "You're right," I replied. "That's why I'm done paying for everyone at this table." Then I got up and left my whole family behind. I dug my fork into the mashed potatoes, chewing slowly, pretending not to hear the nonsense happening around me. John had been going on for the last 10 minutes, complaining that men these days weren't like they used to be, how they were fragile, soft, and pathetic. At first, I just tuned him out. Over the years, I'd figured out that letting him talk himself in circles was easier than arguing. But then he turned to face me directly, raised his fork like it was some kind of judge's mallet, and said, "And you? You're the worst of them. You don't even act like a man." I gave a short, sharp laugh and pushed my plate forward. "Oh, really?" I leaned back, folding my arms. "So what exactly defines a man, John? Please educate me." Without a pause, he answered, "A man doesn't let others take advantage of him. A man doesn't waste time. A man leads and takes control." A slow smirk spread across my face. "You're absolutely right." Then I turned to Bailey, my sister, and said, "Which is why I'm not paying your rent anymore. No more covering your bills. No more buying stuff for you. It's over." The entire room froze. Bailey stared at me like I just spoke in a different language. "What?" she said with a nervous laugh. "You're kidding." "Nope." I grabbed my napkin, wiped my fingers, and stood. "You've been depending on me for years. I thought I was helping. But you're not in trouble, Bailey. You're just lazy." Her mouth opened and closed like she couldn't speak. "That's not fair," she finally said. "I told you I'd help while you got your life together. That was 3 years ago." I looked back at John, who was still frozen mid-motion, fork in the air. "You wanted me to be a man, right? Well, a man doesn't get used. I'm finished." I grabbed my jacket and walked out of the room. The moment I stepped outside, the cool breeze hit me, sharp and refreshing. It felt like I had dropped a heavy load I hadn't even realized I was carrying. For the first time in years, I wasn't taking care of anyone else. No more rescuing Bailey. No more listening to John's speeches. No more playing the role of the family bank. I had just reached my car when my phone started buzzing in my pocket. I didn't need to check. I knew who it was, Bailey. I didn't answer. Another buzz and another. By the time I pulled out of the driveway, the phone wouldn't stop. Calls, texts, even a voicemail notification. One was from my mom, Sarah, which was ironic considering she hadn't said a word the entire dinner. Typical. She never defended me when John tore into me or when Bailey took everything she could. But now that I was cutting them off, now she had something to say. I shut off my phone and let them panic. That night, I stayed in my apartment enjoying the silence. No family yelling, no Bailey complaining about her problems while showing off expensive bags on social media, just quiet. It lasted 12 hours. The next morning, I woke up to 30 missed calls. 10 from Bailey, 7 from John, several from Sarah, and 1 from an unknown number. Out of curiosity, I played Bailey's voicemail first. "You can't do this to me!" she screamed. Her voice was panicked and desperate. "I have bills, rent. Don't you care what happens to me?" Then her tone shifted like she was reading from a script. "Fine. Be selfish. Just remember, if I end up homeless, it's your fault." I chuckled. That was so Bailey. No thank yous, no ownership, just manipulation and guilt. Then I listened to John's message. "Oh, you think this is funny? Walking out on your own family, leaving your sister behind?" He gave a disgusted laugh. "You'll be back. You always come crawling back." That one hit a nerve. Not because it was true, but because he believed it. I had never once gone back begging. They depended on me, not the other way around. And they hated knowing that. I deleted all the messages and tossed my phone on the counter. Let them stress. I wasn't returning, and I sure wasn't giving them another penny. By the time evening rolled in, Bailey's meltdown had gone into full swing. She wasn't just calling anymore. She was lighting up my phone non-stop every single hour. When I wouldn't pick up, she switched to messaging. Bailey, are you actually doing this right now? Bailey, you're destroying everything. Bailey, pick up. We have to talk. When I didn't answer, her tone changed. Bailey, oh, I get it. This is you proving a point. Real mature. Fine. But you can't just cut me off. I need time to deal with this time. I scoffed. She'd had 3 years to figure things out. What exactly had she done with that time? Nothing. I still refused to engage. Then the messages turned bitter. Bailey, so you're really okay letting your sister end up on the street? Bailey, Mom and Dad were right about you. You're pathetic. Bailey, you're just angry because I actually have a life and you're some lonely failure. There it was, the last-ditch insult, the same old play she'd used since we were kids. Tear me down, make me feel worthless, try to regain control. But that tactic didn't work anymore. I didn't reply. Instead, I went about my business, ran a few errands, grabbed a drink, didn't send a single dollar, didn't say a word. By night, I thought she'd worn herself out. I was wrong. At exactly 9:45 p.m., I heard rapid, loud knocking at my door. Bailey. I sighed, setting down my cup. I knew she'd show up eventually, just not this soon. When I opened the door, there she stood, arms folded, eyes swollen, either from crying or yelling. Maybe both. You're a coward, she said, storming past me like she lived here. You think ghosting me makes you strong? She snapped. You think you're a good person for walking away? I leaned on the doorframe, arms folded. Number one, I think it means I'm finally sane. She spun around. I'm serious. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to pay my bills? I shrugged. Find work. Her mouth fell open, then closed again, like the thought had never crossed her mind. I have a job, she shouted, but even she didn't sound sure. Oh, yeah? I raised an eyebrow. What is it? She hesitated. It's complicated. Exactly what I thought. Her fist clenched. You're doing this to hurt me. No, I said calmly. I'm doing this because I finally understood something important. She glared. And what would that be? I smiled. That I don't owe you a single thing. Her expression twisted with fury, and that's when she completely snapped. What the hell is wrong with you? She screamed, throwing her hands in the air. You don't just ditch your family. You don't just abandon people. I stared at her, unmoved. I just did. She looked like she might physically lash out, but instead, she turned to my coffee table and shoved it hard. The drink I'd left there tipped over, spilling across the floor. She looked at me like she was begging for a reaction. I gave her nothing. You're heartless, she hissed. You act like you're better than everyone, but you're just a bitter little coward. I'm finished, Bailey, I said, voice calm and clear. Yell, cry, smash things. It won't change a thing. Her chest heaved, hands shaking. For the first time, I saw a real fear on her face. She knew. This time it wasn't like before. This time I wasn't backing down. No guilt trip, no screaming match, no dragging Sarah or John into it would work now. She laughed once, dry and bitter, and shook her head. You think you're so superior, don't you? I sighed. Bailey, I don't think about you at all. That hit her. I saw it in the way her face crumpled, the way her breath caught. She opened her mouth, probably about to start another tirade. And then, my phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen. John. Bailey noticed it too. Her lips curled into a smirk. There it is, she sneered. You think you're in control? You think you can just cut me out? But you know what? You can ignore me, but he won't let this go. I exhaled slowly. She wasn't lying. Bailey was desperate, but my father, he was furious. I let the call go unanswered, but deep down, I already knew this fight wasn't over yet. A short while later, Bailey burst out, slamming the door with such force that the walls trembled. I exhaled slowly and ran my fingers through my hair. That could have turned out a lot worse. Just then, my phone vibrated again. John. I let out another sigh. I could have let it ring out like I had done all day, but I knew how John operated. He'd keep dialing, keep pressing until he had the final say. Might as well face it now. I slid my thumb across the screen to answer. "What is it?" I asked. His voice exploded through the speaker. "That's how you greet me after pulling something like that?" I rubbed my forehead. "If you called to lecture me, you're wasting your time." "Lecture?" he barked. "You think I'm going to just sit back and watch you throw everything away?" "You don't get it, do you?" I said, cutting him off. "I've been giving, and it's never enough. Bailey uses me. Mom stays silent when you make me feel small." "Well, I'm done." I ended the call and tossed my phone aside. The silence returned, like a comfortable, heavy blanket. And for once, it felt good.